there's a famous old saying, stupid people will never understand what you mean when you point out that they are dumb. I know you've never heard that saying before. I made it up myself. Trust me though, it's a famous saying. I'm just ahead of my time. Now as an author, you'll always have some idiot reading your work and attempting to make a commentary upon it. Only after reading said commentary do we come to realize what they think they read and what we were truly conveying are two completely different things. Like, not remotely close. You remember that scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off when Principal Rooney says, "I don't trust this kid any further than I can throw it." And his secretary looks at him and replies, "Well, with your bad knee, Ed, you shouldn't throw anybody." The poor woman honestly thinks she understands the conversation. Naturally, he just glares at her for being a blithering idiot. She has no clue. That's how many people in this world behave. They are utter imbeciles with zero reading comprehension skills, but they honestly think they are bright and insightful. Nothing is more exasperating than attempting an intellectual debate with boneheaded morons who honestly perceive themselves to be keen and intelligent. I just read an essay about Severus Snape, the character from the Harry Potter series of books, where some insipid girl calls Snape creepy because he never got over Lily Potter. And the essay goes on for 1,400 words, and all I could think was, you don't get it. For one thing, I loathe the word creepy because it's become an unimaginative feminist Nazi cop-out insult. You know, back in the 1950s, like everyone you didn't approve of was a square, right? The 1980s, people were dweebs. Today, they are creepy. A guy you don't like gives you flowers? Creepy. A guy you don't like tries to walk you home from school? Creepy. You know, a guy you don't like calls you on the phone? Oh, it's creepy. A guy that you don't like asks you to lunch? Oh, that's creepy. Creepy should be defined by one's actions, not by how good looking a person happens to be. And we all know damn well the only reason those guys are deemed creepy is because of how they look. Their actions aren't weird. Their actions aren't offensive. Their looks are offensive. After all, if a hot guy does the exact same actions, it's not creepy at all, right? When a hot guy gives you flowers, walks you home from school, calls you on the phone, or asks you to lunch, that shit isn't creepy. When you like the guy, he's called sweet and thoughtful, even romantic, for doing those things. And when you don't like the guy, he's creepy and weird for doing that same stuff, right? Creepy is a basement full of baby embryos in formaldehyde jars, okay? It doesn't matter if the guy is a Greek Adonis or Marty Feldman. That shit is creepy. Asking a girl out to lunch or a guy pining away for an unrequited love is not creepy. Not remotely. I mean, not even a little bit. Stupid girl has no clue what the story of Harry Potter is about and no understanding of the character of Snape. Well, with your bad knee, Ed, you shouldn't throw anybody. Ah, yes. But one could never articulate her ignorance back to her in a way she could comprehend. Her brain didn't process the same story that everyone else did. The worst part is the fact that among 60 comments, most people agree with the author and say that Snape was an awful person and he bullied everyone. Bullied. There's another overused word, along with creepy, which feels like someone glued sand to my toilet paper every time I hear it. Now, Snape was never a bully. I mean, naturally, anyone familiar with the story goes back to the singular scene between him and Dumbledore when Snape says, "No one can know." That was a bad Snape imitation, but that's what he said. Now, to me, that single sentence made it blindingly obvious that everything Snape did was all an act. He was meant to play the part of the bad cop at Hogwarts so people wouldn't trust him, so people wouldn't like him. All of his mean-spirited actions were a ruse to help ensure his false loyalty to Voldemort would be more believable. I know I'm correct, because Dumbledore replies with, "That I shall never reveal the best of you, Severus." In other words, all the good of Snape is to be deliberately kept hidden. Harry goes on to call Snape the bravest man I've ever known. Now, how the hell did all these idiots who whine about Snape being a bully miss those incredibly obvious plot points? It's spelled out right in front of them. And here's 60 idiots on the internet who don't get it at all. They saw a very different story from the rest of us. Spend more than 5 minutes on the internet. Read comments from people in forums or on news articles, and you will quickly see most people are mentally retarded and severely lacking in basic reading comprehension skills. As I said earlier, what an article actually says and the message people read are often very different things. You'll often end up scratching your head thinking, what? Do these people even understand what this article was about? The same thing has happened in my own writing. While my novel, The Gothic Rainbow, is praised and beloved by many people, I have also gotten negative criticism for meaningless dialogue and trivial conversations. However, these readers were apparently too ignorant to understand that was deliberate. One of the many sayings you hear with writing is, show, don't tell. In other words, don't just describe things, but illustrate them. If you have shallow and vapid characters in a story, show them behaving in a way which is shallow and vapid. Don't simply describe them as being worthless and insipid, because where's the fun in that? Being told this character is an idiot is not as fun as reading about that character doing something idiotic. So, yes, I have shallow dialogue in order to show how shallow some characters are. But some people seem to miss that. There was a popular video on YouTube recently about a mother who saw The Matrix for the first time, and she admitted to closing her eyes throughout multiple scenes, so she missed pivotal moments in the film. She kept on calling Morpheus by the name Moshimo for some reason. Moshimo? How the... Anyway, my point is, stupid people are very eager and willing to comment on things without fully understanding what the hell they're talking about. I know. You're saying, but Eric, that video was just good, clean fun. Some innocent old lady was all baffled by the Matrix. I mean, that sounds entertaining. Where's the harm? You're making too big of an issue out of something trivial. No. Willful ignorance is never fun or entertaining or trivial. It's a loathsome perversion to revel in and celebrate stupidity. I'm not saying everyone must be an expert in every field of knowledge on Earth, but I am saying, why bother to watch the movie if you're going to keep your eyes closed most of the time? As my oft-quoted and idolized favorite writer, well, he's one of them, not my only favorite, Harlan Ellison said, "We are not entitled to our opinions. We are entitled to our informed opinions." And he was right. No one is entitled to be a fucking dipshit. Thankfully, I'm not alone. Others see it happening too. The dumbing down of culture is rampant. You need no more proof than the television and the internet to see it happening. Point out atrocious grammar in internet posts, and no one apologizes for it. People are proud of it. Like I said, what is written and what is read are often very different things. The mental processes firing off in those 5 cells of brain matter couldn't recharge a watch battery. The point of this rant is simply this. As a writer, don't take it personally when you are misquoted or misunderstood by the brainless denizens of humanity. Their ignorance is endless, and encountering such mindlessness is an exponential inevitability of gaining notoriety. You know, as farmers say, the further you spread out into the field, the more cow shit you're going to step in. Sorry, I lied. Honestly, I made that phrase up too. Farmers never say that. I didn't grow up on a farm or anything either, but you know, the metaphor sure feels right. Some people obviously won't understand the metaphor, but unfortunately, I can't really explain it any more clearly. After all, stupid people will never understand what you mean when you point out they're dumb.